Today we're going to look at getting started with Telerik's RadRichTextBox. RadRichTextBox is part of Telerik's RAD controls for Silverlight WPF control suite for .NET XAML development. The RadRichTextBox control offers broad editing and formatting capabilities, which comes with unmatched performance. The RadRichTextBox control provides an MS Word-like editing experience along with support for importing and exporting many different file formats including doc, HTML, RTF, XAML, and text. In this video we will create a Silverlight 5 application that uses the RadRichTextBox control and see just how easy it is to get started. Let's jump into Visual Studio 2010. So here we are, we're inside of Visual Studio 2010 and I'm going to simply select a new project. Once I select a new project, I'm going to select Silverlight and then I'm going to go Rad Controls Silverlight Application. Now you can also switch to the Telerik template, and inside the Telerik template you will see all the different templates that are just for Telerik here. And as you can see here, I could of course select my C# Rad Controls Silverlight application from this menu as well. So let's just go ahead and we'll give this a name of RRTBSL, standing for RadRichTextBox Silverlight, and then we'll go ahead and we'll select OK. Once we select OK, it pops up the new Silverlight application dialog box. We're going to leave everything the same as shown here. Now it takes just a second or so and we see the project configuration wizard. So I know that I'm going to use the RadRichTextBox in this sample, so I can simply scroll down until I see RadRichTextBox and I can place a check in this item. As you see, once I placed a check in this item, it added the checks to the other necessary components. So from here I can go ahead and I can select Finish. So once the project has finished spinning up, then we can drag over to our Solution Explorer and we can see that several of the Telerik.windows.controls have been added to our project automatically for us. We'll also see that inside of our project the XML namespace has been added as well. So the next thing to do here is we're going to start adding XAML to our grid. So if you watch the next part of this video, then you'll actually be able to see where we are using a wizard. But for this video I actually wanted to show you how you can do this through XAML. So starting from here, we're going to go into our grid and we're going to go Telerik and we're going to go RadRichTextBox, and we'll just go ahead and give it a name because in other parts of the series we're going to be adding additional functionality. So I'm just going to give it RadRichTextBox, and I'm going to set the isReadOnly property to false. We're going to want to edit this, and then I'm going to add isSpellChecking enabled, and I'm going to turn that off as well. And then finally we'll add a little bit of a margin here. So I'm just going to add this to about 47, and from here I can close this tag out. So I'm going to expand this window where you can see it a little bit better. So the first thing that I'm going to do after I've added the RadRichTextBox to the control is I'm going to add in a rad document. So I'm going to go Telerik rad document, and I'm going to set the layout mode here to paged. So when using the page mode, the content of the edited document is divided into pages. If you were using the flow layout mode, the document content is not divided into pages. And then finally the flow no wrap layout mode, it's similar to the flow layout mode, but it doesn't allow the text in separate paragraphs to get wrapped when the free space gets exceeded. So now that we have a rad document, I'm going to add in a section. So this section is going to be Telerik section, and we're going to do a page margin here, and the page margin we're just going to do 10 on all sides, and then we'll close out of that tag. So now that we have a section, we would probably want to enter a paragraph. So we'll just go Telerik and we'll go paragraph, and we'll just do a text align to center, and inside of that paragraph we're going to run a couple of spans. So we'll go Telerik, and then we're going to go span. We're going to give a text here, and we'll just say thank you for using Telerik's. And now we'll add one more span here. So we'll go span, and now we're going to do a font weight of maybe something like bold, and we'll give it text, and we're going to say RadRichTextBox. And then finally we'll close out of that tag. So after a quick build, we can see in our designer here that the text is actually being displayed. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this inside of the browser. So now that this loaded, we can see we have our RadRichTextBox. It's inside of the browser, but we can also notice that there's a couple of additional functionality that comes with it. So as I just double clicked on this, we can see that we have this little menu that says bold, italics, underline, a lot of our word-like authoring that we're used to. Of course, I can toggle that by clicking this button, and we maybe add italics. Also, another thing that it comes with kind of out of the box is a right-click context menu, so you can cut, copy, paste, hyperlink, and there's a couple of other options. And in another later video, we're actually going to add an additional option to our context menu. So let's jump back and let's look at adding additional information to our RadRichTextBox Control. So now we're back inside of Visual Studio 2010, and we can see here if you wanted to add an additional paragraph, you could do that as well. And once you do a quick build project, you'll be able to see that in your designer screen, your designer window as well. So let's look at adding some other content, maybe a table. So let's go back and we're going to do Telerik. We're going to go table, and we're going to go layout mode, and we're just going to set this to auto fit. That way it will automatically fit that for us. And I'll close out of that Telerik table. So now we would probably need a row. So we're going to go Telerik, and we're going to go table row, and inside of that row we're going to add in a Telerik table cell, and then an actual paragraph. So inside of the Telerik table we have the row and then the cell, and now we're adding in a paragraph, and we'll go back and we'll give this the same span that we did in the previous sample, and we'll just do text, and we can do cell number 1. So at this point we've added a Telerik table, and we've added a cell, and we've added some content for that cell. Let's go ahead and quickly add another one, and then we'll add another table row and give that a cell as well. So now if we go back and we run our project again, then we can see the table that we just created. So this is the first part in the video, and we have 4 more videos coming up after this that's going to go into a much deeper dive into the RadRichTextBox Control. So please stay tuned for those videos. So tune in to tv.telerik.com for more videos, and check out blogs.telerik.com for the latest news and announcements. Thank you.